So James, thank you that we took some time for having a little interview. You wrote a book about how to attain enlightenment.
Yes.
So what is enlightenment actually?
Enlightenment is the hard and fast knowledge that I am limitless, non-dual, actionless, ordinary, unconcerned awareness, and not the objects appearing in me. Assuming that knowledge neutralizes my sense of doership and cancels my binding conditioning, my binding vasanas.
And you reached this somehow?
No. I didn't reach this. You can't reach this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not enlightened. I'm not unenlightened either.
Yeah.
I'm awareness.
Yeah.
Awareness is not enlightened.
And awareness
is not unenlightened.
Yeah.
Awareness is the light in which enlightenment, the idea of enlightenment, is known, or the idea of unenlightenment or not enlightenment or endarkenment is known. I was nothing to reach because I was always awareness. I just thought I wasn't awareness for a long time. Even though I was awareness all the time, I thought I wasn't awareness.
Yeah.
I at one point understood very clearly that I was only awareness and not this person that I thought I was.
So James is still the same, but...
James is the same. Enlightenment's not for James. Enlightenment's freedom from James.
Yeah.
And when you see your awareness, you're always free of James. So you don't waste time trying to fix James or make James experience something different or worry about James at all. James is just fine as he is.
Yeah, you let him be.
Let him be.
Yeah.
It's fine. Whatever he is fine. It has nothing to do with me.
Mm-hmm.
And enlightenment is just that knowledge. Most people think that James is going to be enlightened or not enlightened.
No.
People think I'm enlightened and they come to me, but I don't accept that I'm enlightened. I don't accept that I'm not enlightened. Neither one of those ideas apply to me. I'm the awareness in which those ideas appear.
Yeah. And James, which is appearing in the awareness,
mm-hmm.
he studied and he read a lot of books and he learned with several masters.
Yes.
And so you have a specific skill of explaining what happens.
Yeah, I teach Vedanta.
Yeah.
I can't even say what happens, because if I say what happened to me, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to happen to you. Because what happens doesn't transfer from me to you.
Mm-hmm.
All that transfers is knowledge. If I can get you to understand something, then that knowledge becomes your knowledge.
No.
So knowledge is just uncovering the self. It's removing ignorance. You are always awareness, and there are moments when you say, "Oh, I got it. I am it." So that's when the ignorance has gone away. And Vedanta is just a means to take away your ignorance.
So you don't teach your experience, or you tell of your experience, but you give the same knowledge which you received.
Absolutely.
You give. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's not my knowledge.
Yeah.
It couldn't be. If it's my knowledge, what good is it?
Yeah.
That's only good for me. That's not good for you.
Yeah.
But this knowledge is good for everybody, because there's only one person. There's not a lot of different people.
How do you mean there's only one person?
There's only awareness with three bodies. Now that's a very radical, difficult idea to understand.
Yeah.
Because we identify ourselves as the body and we think we're a separate person. But when you do inquiry, you can't find that there's any separate person. When you actually investigate the nature of reality, all you can find is one awareness operating three bodies. And it's the same for every person, quote unquote.
So these awareness point I can get. So that you say the James self is the same self as the Narada self. So because there is only this one awareness, which is like the quality of the room, which is unchangeable and all-pervading, and omnipresent, or however, which is love and stillness, or whatever attributes you give them.
Call it,
So, but to me it appears like I am interviewing you, so you are sitting there and I'm here, and we have a dialogue between two different entities.
Yeah, that's right. And that appearance of duality is caused by ignorance, or Maya. Maya makes it look like you're sitting there and I'm sitting here. It makes it look like there's a separation between you and me, but is there actually a separation between you and me? Well, there is a separation between you and me if you assume that you're the body.
So the point is...
But if you look at the assumption that you're the body, that can't be true. Why can't it be true that you're not the body? Because the body is an object known to you. Your body is an object known to you, just like my body is an object known to me. Which means what? The bodies are the same. They're both objects appearing to me, and I can't be what I see.
Yeah, because
I see
you are recognizing an object.
I'm the one that sees the object.
Yeah.
So that from the point of view of the one that sees, there's no difference. The awareness looking through your body sees different things, because why? Because the differences belong to the body. The awareness looking through my body sees different things because of the different conditioning of the body. But the one that sees is the same in you and in me. There's only one awareness looking out through all these bodies.
So the issue is just the point of view, that we are caught in the point of view of I am the body, and this, what they call enlightenment, is just a change of the point of view. You are still in the one hand the body, but you change the point of view and you recognize I am the self.
That's right. The body point of view is always available. The emotional point of view is always available. The intellectual point of view is always available. And awareness's point of view is always available. Now, what point of view do I choose to take? What point of view produces for me the least conflict and the most happiness? Well, that's obvious, awareness.
Yeah. Just to observe whatever happens.
And it isn't really to observe because you're always observing. It's just understanding that the observing part of me is me.
No.
I don't have any choice about whether to observe or not. Observation is not a choice. Observation is just a fact. It means what? I'm aware. And awareness is not a choice. You can't choose to be aware.
Because it's natural to always be
natural.
present.
You're always present and you're always aware. So there's no choice involved in it. If you say, I'm not aware, you can only say you're not aware because you're aware.
But since years I try to concentrate myself and be aware, be present.
But you can't do that. Because you're there prior to the idea that you're not present. You have to be there to get the idea that you're not present. You have to be there while you're trying to concentrate yourself to become more aware. And you're there observing whether you succeed at that or whether you fail at that. So awareness is not something you do, it's something you are. Awareness is not something you achieve. Awareness is your nature. And enlightenment is just understanding that I'm awareness. And what the implication of that knowledge is. The implication is that I'm free of the objects, because awareness is never contaminated by any object or experience that happens to it, in it. Actually, experiences don't happen to awareness, they happen in awareness. That is, they appear in the scope of awareness. If an experience happens in awareness, awareness doesn't change. Awareness is unaffected by any experience that happens in it. It always remains pure.
It's like the room.
Yeah, it's like the room. No matter what happens in the room space is unaffected. Even when you walk in a room, the space doesn't move to accommodate you, does it? The space doesn't change because you walk in the room. You don't push the space away. The space remains exactly the same whether you're in the room or you're out of the room. Because space pervades every object in the room. And awareness pervades every object in reality and is completely unaffected by the object's experiences that are appearing and disappearing in it.
So the problem is that we are caught in the objects, like the body, the feelings.
That's it. That ignorance makes me identify with the feelings and the body and the thoughts and the sensations that are arising in these instruments that are these objects in the room of awareness. And therefore I suffer and enjoy according to the nature of the object with which I identify.
So this implicates that we cannot do anything to be awareness.
That's right. You cannot do
no yoga, no special mantra, no initiation.
No, because awareness is prior to every action. So, and it's in a different dimension from action. It's completely free of action. And any action you do cannot produce awareness.
But how come that so many people get caught into the idea that they can do something to reach awareness?
Because ignorance causes them to identify with the doer, the body. We're taught we're taught without even thinking about it. As a child, when you come here, you are dumb as a loaf of bread. You don't know anything. You're totally ignorant. And as soon as your intellect starts to develop, you're taught that you are this body. You are taught that you're this doing entity, this body that moves and changes and so on. That's what you're taught. And you believe that. And you're taught that with this body you can achieve certain things. And you can. You can achieve certain things in the world using this body and this mind. There's no doubt about that. Yoga is for gaining what you want here.
Yeah.
You can. But you can't achieve awareness. You can't achieve yourself. Because yourself is already achieved.
Yeah.
We call it Naishkarmya Siddhi. It's the already accomplished Atman, or already accomplished self. It's already accomplished. It's not something to be accomplished.
So you can say the problem is that we don't know that we are enlightened.
We don't know that we're awareness. That's right.
Yeah.
Enlightened's a bad word.
Yeah.
Why? Because it implies that I am unenlightened. Doesn't it?
Yeah.
It implies that I'm endarkened.
Mm-hmm.
But awareness is not enlightened or unenlightened. It's the knower of enlightenment and the knower of endarkenment.
So you would recommend to use other words for this?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. In the spiritual world, there's two languages operating. There's the language of experience and there's the language of identity.
Mm-hmm. Vedanta
is a language of identity.
How do you mean identity?
Identity. It just states facts.
Mm-hmm.
If it, like for example, you know the mantra Tat Twamasi.
Yes.
That you are that. That's what Tat Twamasi means. The consciousness that you are now is the consciousness in everything. That's what that means.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's all it means. It means there's no difference between the consciousness that you are right now and the consciousness in everything. Now, does that statement imply any action? In other words, does that statement telling you to do something?
No.
No.
No, it just
means
just to recognize, to know.
That's right. It's just a statement to be understood. You only have to understand the meaning of that statement, and then your sense of duality disappears. But now in yoga, in these experiential paths, the language of experience, it says if you get rid of your vasanas, you will get enlightened.
Mm.
If you do pranayama, you'll get a calm mind, or whatever it is. So there's instruction given to a doer to do an action that's going to produce a particular result.
Yeah.
Now, the self-awareness is never the result of an action.
Yeah, it sounds very logic to me.
It's totally logical.
But what about ecstasy and dwelling into light and stories you read of masters who have special powers and
where are
knowing things which they can't know? Yeah,
okay. And where are these special powers? Where are these masters? Where is this special knowledge appearing?
In the doer.
In awareness. It's only known to awareness. Special, there's no special. There's no special master. Special master is a concept. Show me a special master.
Yeah, I once saw a master. I was sitting in a talk and suddenly I recognized that my mind dissolved. I was totally quiet inside of my head.
That's right. That was an experience witnessed by what?
By by me.
Me as what?
Yeah.
Me
as awareness.
You observed your mind dissolve.
Mm-hmm.
That's a common experience. Go to sleep at night, your mind dissolves.
Yeah.
That's nothing special. And did your mind come back?
Yes.
Yes, it did. Because the mind comes and goes. It dissolves.
It's his job.
It's his job. It comes and goes. But I, the knower, the seer, doesn't come and go. There's no sign on a person saying they're a special master. Is there? And what is special? I'm a special master. Huh? I know how to use a computer. Huh? Yeah. That's a special knowledge, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Because there's many people who don't know how to use a computer.
Yeah. Oh, and there are some, they know how to deal with, I don't know, thoughts to get special ideas.
What about millionaires and people who know how to get money? They have special knowledge.
Yeah.
What about healers who know how to heal the body?
Yeah.
With medicines or otherwise? They have special knowledge. Everybody's got special knowledge.
And so these special things, like some masters, they know how to to get Shakti energy.
Yeah, sure.
And they know how to give it to others, but it doesn't mean they are awareness.
It doesn't mean they know their awareness.
Okay.
It's just skills that they pick up.
Yeah.
All those skills belong to Ishwara.
Yeah.
All knowledge belongs to Ishwara.
To God.
To God. And because I'm a jiva, I associate that skill or that power with the person, and I give that power to the person. I don't realize it's only Ishwara that's operating through that person. So I get fascinated by the person, and I think the person's special or unique.
Mm-hmm. But it's just a gift you received. And
That's right. It's just a power or a Shakti or a knowledge that it belongs to the total that's operating through an individual at any moment.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a special master can't give Shakti pot 24/7
Mm-hmm.
because the instrument through which it's flowing will become dull and Temasek, and the energy won't flow all the time.
Yeah.
Or the person into whom the energy is flowing will be Temasek and won't be able to receive the energy. So even though the master is giving the Shakti pot, then it's not being received on the other side. So you can't even say it's Shakti pot.
No.
So the conditions of the master's mind being open and the disciples' mind being open totally doesn't depend upon either one. It depends upon Ishwara. In other words, whether the gunas are in line and the energy is transferred.
Mm.
So there's no special masters here.
Yeah, only masters of doership.
Absolutely, only doers with special kinds of knowledge and special kinds of powers.
Yeah. Now this,
Now, like,
you can say everybody could reach like these special powers, but it has nothing to do with freedom.
it has nothing to do with freedom. It's just a result of one's actions and one's thoughts.
Yeah.
Now, that's very appealing to an individual. A person who thinks they're small and inadequate and incomplete, that person wants to distinguish his or herself. That person wants to feel big, wants to feel powerful, wants to feel knowledgeable, wants to be respected, and so forth and so on. So that person is easily seduced by these claims in the spiritual world of special powers and so forth and so on.
Mm-hmm.
As you know yourself, the texts in Yoga and Vedanta warn against those special powers,
Yes.
against identifying with those special powers. And in the Yoga Sutras, for example, it says that those powers are not a consequence of the person. Those powers come when the mind becomes pure.
Yeah. And you can do samyama on any object.
And you're meant to see those powers as an object, because no power affects awareness. There's no power that affects awareness. Awareness is free of all power.
Mm-hmm.
There's no Shakti in awareness. Awareness is completely free of Shakti.
Because it's of the world of appearances and not of...
That's right,
yeah.
because power is just appearing in Maya.
Yeah.
Right? And awareness is the knowledge that I'm the knower of Maya, that I'm the knower of the objects.
Yeah.
And that's a hard and fast conviction, which that's what we call enlightenment, or if you want to call it enlightenment, is a hard and fast conviction that I'm awareness, and it's so strong that I am completely unaffected by the power that appear in me.
Yeah, but when you're aware of being awareness, or you recognize, I am not the body, I'm not the feeling, I'm not the thought, I am the awareness in which all this appears.
Yes.
Then you, James, you have still your programmings. For example, you have a craving for pizza.
Yeah.
And it's still there.
It's still there.
It's not everything dissolved.
Why should it go?
Yeah, because somehow I have the thought that when you reach this point that there's a tabula rasa, that you are like
there's a tabula rasa before you reach that point. The tabula rasa is awareness.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
There's no marks on awareness.
Yeah. So you have still your wants and dislikes
Sure,
and everything.
absolutely.
Yeah. But you can observe them.
But
then you are...
Yeah, and they're neutralized by the knowledge that you're awareness.
Yeah.
Those things are only a problem when you think there's something wrong with them. Huh?
No.
But there's nothing wrong with them from awareness's point of view. Only the individual says that those things are bad things and I should get rid of them. That they're limiting me in some way. But no good or bad thought or feeling or action limits you in any way. Because what you experience doesn't validate or invalidate you at all. Because you're completely free of experience all the time.
Yeah.
So this is just something you understand and realize. It's not something that is the result of an action, unless that action is inquiry.
Yeah.
But the difference between inquiry and a normal action is that the result of inquiry is knowledge,
Yeah.
and the result of an action is experience.
So the way to reach the experience of being awareness, from our doer point of view, is to inquire.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's good that you added it, because now you've understood it properly. Looking at it from the doer's point of view.
Yeah. Yeah, because we are caught in it, we have to look from this point of view.
That's right. If you're caught in it, then you have to. There is something the doer can do to understand that it's awareness.
Yeah.
And that doer needs to convert its desire to experience something into a desire to understand who it is.
So it's just about understanding.
Because there's realities in non-dual. You're always awareness. You're never not awareness.
Yeah.
So
and inquiry means just to get rid of all the wrong
notions.
Yeah.
About who you are.
Yeah. And about what I need and whatever.
Right. You're not going to become awareness. You're already awareness.
Yeah.
You're just going to get rid of the notion that you need this or you got to get rid of this to be what you are.
So simple.
It's very simple. It's just a matter of a very simple knowledge.
Yeah.
Now, it's, as you yourself said, as Ronald Reagan said, it's simple, but it ain't easy.
Yeah.
It's only ain't easy because of my beliefs, my attachment to my belief that I am a doer.
Because 30, 40, 50 years we thought we are the doer and we can reach something.
Absolutely. That's
and
all
it's
it
so
is.
deep into our programs.
Absolutely. It is our basic program.
Yeah.
I am a doer. I can get this or avoid that.
Yeah. And on the one hand, you are still a doer. You do something. You reach something in this world, but you know this is not the only point. The real point is I am the observer, the awareness, the law of the stillness.
That's it. That's called discrimination.
Yeah.
And we define enlightenment or moksha as discrimination. Knowing that what the doer is and knowing what awareness is.
Yeah.
And not confusing
Atman and anatman.
Anatma, vivekaha.
Yeah.
Viveka means discrimination.
Sat, asat.
Yeah, sat, asat, viveka. Knowing what's not real and what is real, and not confusing what isn't real with what is real.
Mm-hmm.
You have no choice about either one. Certain things are real, and one thing is real, and certain other things are not real.
And real means
Means permanent.
Permanent and unchanging.
And changing.
And everything which is appearing and dissolving is not real.
It's not real.
From the Vedantic point of view.
That's right. It's existing.
Yeah.
It's experienceable. It exists, but it's not real. It doesn't last.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't want our lives to be built on something that doesn't last.
No.
We don't want to think that something's real and then discover it's not real. Then we're just asking for pain and suffering. Right?
But when it's so easy, or not easy, but simple, why do the humans confuse about all this, and why is it not a common thing to just know I'm awareness?
Because ignorance is deep and hardwired. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, speaking as awareness, he says, by my Maya, by this power of ignorance, I delude all beings.
And everybody has to work on himself.
Yeah, that's right. You have to do the work.
Yeah.
You can't just say you're awareness. You can just say you're awareness, but that doesn't set you free.
Yeah.
You're still driven and affected by your vasanas, your likes and your dislikes.
Mm-hmm.
So Vedanta is very simple, but it's very difficult because of this belief, that's all.
Because we're stuck in our beliefs.
Absolutely.
But the
and
main
spiritual world's the worst of all. Because there are all kinds of erroneous notions about what enlightenment is.
No.
And now all confused with various experiences and so forth and so on. Shaktis and states of mind and altered states and experiences of light and love and all these, all of those things are thought to be enlightenment, and there's supposed to be some kind of big change for the doer. And the biggest one is that the doer is going to become enlightened.
Yeah.
That's the biggest one of all.
Mm-hmm.
The doer can never become enlightened.
But of course it affects the doer when you recognize your awareness.
Absolutely.
But
because you no longer identify with the doer assumes its rightful place in the cosmic order. And because you're not trying to manipulate that doer to get what you want through that doer.
yeah.
So you just let the doer, you let it go. The knowledge you just release that doer, and then the doer is controlled by Ishwara, and then the doer is fine because the doer's will and Ishwara's will become one, and the doer has a good, happy life. So knowledge has a huge impact on the doer. And the doer,
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to let go of control. That's my problem. Don't the Germans say trust is good, control is better?
Yeah, it's a quote from Lenin.
Oh, is it Lenin?
Yeah.
Is that who said it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Trust is good, control is better.
Yeah.
That's the ego's point of view.
Mm-hmm.
No, trust, if you have knowledge, self-knowledge, you know your awareness, you will trust that the doer is taken care of. You will have that trust, and that trust isn't even a belief, it's just hard and fast knowledge. You know, trust very well that Ishwara's got everything under control, and then you just let Ishwara do everything.
Like Jesus said,
Yeah.
Look at the birds, they don't sow seeds, but the Lord serves them food every day.
That's it. Absolutely.
Yeah. Fine. So the main point is to recognize that every time there is an experience which you can have as an object, it's not awareness. So in terms of enlightenment, when I have I see the big light inside of me, when I see myself being pure and aware and have a good intuition or whatever, it's just experience.
Who sees it?
Yeah.
It's about who sees it, it's not about the experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's just about who sees it.
Always come back to
awareness, the seer. And what happened, okay, I have a big experience. Now, does that make me, what does that mean as far as I'm concerned? Well, it means I'm wonderful when I'm having this big experience, but what happens when the experience goes? I'm not wonderful anymore?
No.
I'm not enlightened anymore? Huh? That's a pretty sad state of affairs.
It is, yeah.
And I'm wonderful when I'm having a spiritual experience, and I'm not spiritual when I'm not having a spiritual experience.
No.
Think about it. That's not right.
Mm-hmm. Because it's coming and going.
Because it's coming and going.
So it's not real.
So it's not real. So, it's my failure to understand the nature of experience. That experience is not real.
Mm-hmm.
We're not saying there's anything right or wrong about any experience. It's not, experience isn't good or bad. It's just ever-changing awareness. It's just awareness appearing to change. And so it really doesn't affect me at all.
Mm-hmm.
The awareness that you've had all these spiritual experiences, you've had all these worldly experiences. Are you any different?
Actually not. When I look at a picture of mine when I was a young boy,
actually
it
not.
was the same
awareness,
person.
Same light awareness shining through this body. The body has morphed a little bit, and the body will continue to morph, but I, the seer, the awareness, is the same awareness now as it was 10 years ago, as it was 20 years ago, as it will be 10 years in the future.
Yeah. So simple.
It is so simple. It is so simple. And in the Bhagavad Gita, they have there's a chapter 8, and it calls it the royal secret. The kingly secret, it's called. Mm-hmm. It's the king of all secrets because it's so simple. Nobody gets it because it's so simple. Everybody's looking for...
I got it, I think intellectually I got it since years, but
this tendency to crave experience.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's the problem.
And wrong notions, for example.
Wrong notions.
For example, when I think about the non-duality, it seems so big.
But it isn't, or the idea that everything's supposed to dissolve. Mm-hmm. That would be non-duality. That there's just big experience of oneness and no objects, and everything's just light or emptiness or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just words.
Just words.
As you said yesterday, it's just that you recognize objects or the sum of all objects as flat.
That's right. On the image, if you look at a mirror, all the objects appearing in a mirror are equal.
Yeah.
None of them stick out. None of them sink in, mm-hmm. and none of them stick out.
So
they're all flat. They're all just what? On the same dimension as the mirror.
So, and when I'm the doer, then I see the world, and there are things which I like, which I don't like, which experiences which are so spiritual and which are not. But from a non-dual point of view, it doesn't matter. It's all the same.
Absolutely.
So we can just relax.
That's the point. That's why, you've heard of the god Ram.
Yeah.
He's a famous Hindu deity. Now, if you look at Ram, the way you identify Ram in a picture, because most of those gods look alike, the only thing different with the gods is their different symbols.
Yes.
They all have this kind of universal face, and they all have this spiritual vibration and this light and this smile,
blue skin,
or whatever. Yeah. They all basically look alike, but the only thing you can tell is by their symbol. Now, Ram, the way you tell that a god is Ram is he has a bow.
Mm-hmm.
Ram was an archer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, the interesting thing about that bow is what? What's so interesting about that bow? It has no string.
Uh-huh.
Now that's funny, isn't it? Because normally if you got a bow, it has a string.
Without it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense, does it, to have a bow without a string? Well, Ram's bow doesn't have a string. That bow is a symbol of his ego. And it means there's no tension. There's no stress.
Yeah.
The bow only works because it's stressed.
Yeah.
It's in tension.
Mm-hmm.
And when you pull it back, then the arrow shoots out. But Ram's bow has no string, so it has no tension.
Yeah.
Which means what? His ego is totally relaxed.
Yeah.
Our egos, as people, as individuals, are full of tension and stress. We're not relaxed. Because of all this desire.
Yeah.
And that desire is just definitely what? The result of ignorance, that I'm awareness. When you know your awareness, you just relax.
So, yeah. So you don't have to do anything to reach it. You don't have to search for it. You can just relax and know I am the self, which is awareness, which is love, which is stillness, which is like the room, which is untouched, which is not acting, and fine. But still, we are living in the world.
Well, to get to that point of view, you're going to have to do some work.
Yeah.
Once you got to that point of view, then you don't have to do any work. But to get to that point of view, you have to do the work.
Yeah, but still, James lives in this world and
lives in me, yeah. So what?
Yeah, and you're still doing something.
Am I? Or is Ishwara
your
doing
body?
it? Is Ishwara doing it?
So it's about surrendering then also.
It's about letting Ishwara do it. Am I doing anything? I don't feel like I'm doing anything.
You just let it happen.
Things are happening. I don't even let it happen. Things are happening.
Yeah.
I don't have any control over it happening.
Yeah.
As long as you're alive, you have no control. You wouldn't give birth to yourself. You're not maintaining yourself, and you're not going to take yourself away from here.
No.
This Ishwara, this process of creation and destruction, is going on automatically, whether you like it or not.
Yeah. But your duties which you have, for example, you don't have kids, but when you have kids, you have to do something.
You even have kids, you don't have to do something. They'll be taken care of. You believe that you have to do something, but they aren't your kids.
Mm-hmm.
Who says they're your kids? Did you create them? What did you do? Even the sperm and the egg. Hey, you didn't even do that.
Yeah, it happened.
It just happened. Most kids are not planned at all. They just happen.
Yeah.
You're not thinking, I'll make this kid or whatever. And even if you do, who sustains it? Who makes it breathe?
So
and if
when
you abandon your duty, someone else will take up that duty. So you don't have to look after those children. There's long, long lines of people who want to have children.
So, for example, when your awareness, and then there comes the impulse inside, oh, I have to cook. And then you cook. And then you think, there comes the impulse, oh, I have to feed my kids.
Yeah.
Then it happens that you feed your kids.
That's it.
It's not that you are worrying about it and think.
That's right.
You just let it flow.
Absolutely. You don't have a sense of doership.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, you don't have that feeling that you have to do, that you're supposed to do, that you must do something. Because you understand that doing happens is all the time, and that everything's taken care of all the time.
Yeah, and this is the gunas which we have, which are forcing us to act. But the awareness is above.
And the awareness is above. It just witnesses the actions. It witnesses the feelings, the impulses. It witnesses the actions that come as a result of those impulses. It doesn't judge them. It isn't affected by them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. think there's nothing more to add.
I think there isn't anything more to add. I think you're right.
It's just about
And
discriminating.
Once you know that, you just apply your discrimination in every situation if you need to. Like, I don't even discriminate anymore because it's all me. Who cares? I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter. There's nothing to discriminate. Whatever happens is okay.
Because you're completely in this experience.
Because I'm awareness.
Yeah. And as long you're
and
not...
even to say I'm in the experience of awareness isn't correct.
Oh, okay.
Because there I'm taking myself to be the doer, aren't I?
Yeah, but the doer knows he is not...
Yeah, because the doer is actually awareness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awareness knows it's awareness. The doer is actually awareness.
Yeah.
And when the knowledge comes, then the doer stops being a doer and becomes awareness. And then doing happens, but there's nobody doing it. So you're fine. You're fine as a doer, you're fine as awareness. That's why there's no stress.
No.
And there's bliss.
Some people are really caught into bad feelings or experiences they made, and it's hard to tell them just relax. Your awareness.
You can't tell them. You can't. That doesn't work. They have to work on that vasana, on that tendency. They have to just telling them their awareness, they won't relax.
Yeah.
Those vasanas have to be handled.
This is where this philosophy...
This is where karma yoga comes in.
Ah, okay.
Karma yoga and Triguna Vibhava yoga and all these things, all the yogas, they come in there because they handle your hang-ups, your problems.
No.
So that for those people, you give them yoga. They're not ready for Vedanta.
No.
They're just not going to get it because they're too identified and attached to their stuff, to their life and their feelings and their kids and their jobs and their wife and all this stuff. They're just totally identified there. So for them, they have to work out of those problems, and for them, yoga is advice.
Yeah. Oh, good. And as soon as you recognized that these objects don't make you happy and they are not
then you become a sannyasi, then you can understand this. Then it's easy to understand this. But as long as you're chasing objects, you're not going to understand it. So we say, well, just stay in the world, do what you do, try to do it with the karma yoga spirit, and see if all these attachments, the children and the job and all this stuff, see if all those things are really give you what you believe they're going to give you. And the answer is always, they don't give me what I expect. That's why people that live in this world are not happy, because the objects that they believe are supposed to make them happy aren't actually making them happy. But they're so ignorant, they're so attached to the belief that my wife or my kids or my jobs can make me happy, that they keep staying attached to those objects over and over and over again, even when they're not delivering the happiness. And then they get more and more and more frustrated. And eventually they have a breakdown, dark night of the soul. And either they sink down deep into despair and destroy themselves, or they wake up and go on the spiritual side, spiritual path. Either way, who knows how it works.
So for them who cannot just get to this thought of being awareness because they're caught in objects, you say karma yoga is the...
karma yoga is the primary basic notion.
And as far as I understand, it's about doing the best you can without being attached to the result. So
well,
I do every moment what's recommended, what's to the best of everybody who's involved, and try to involve like unconditioned love with my doing, but not for aiming something, but just because I have to do it now. And on the other hand, I accept everything which is...
Well, the point is, why do I accept everything? Because I have no control over it.
Yeah.
You have a limited control as a doer. That is, if you do an appropriate action in a timely way, if you do an action, the right action at the right time, you're more likely to get the result that you want. You can gain things in this world by doing action. That's just a fact. But whether or not you get the result that you want is not up to you.
No.
This is the point. This is very hard for the ego to understand.
Because we always think we can reach something.
Yeah, well, and we want to feel complete. And we think if we get what we want, we're going to feel complete. But and that's okay. Well, you know, temporarily, if I do get what I want, I will feel complete. But that completeness doesn't last.
Yeah, because it's just like everything, it comes and goes.
And the problem with action is that once I've done the action, it's in Ishwara's hands. In other words, the action is now in the field. It doesn't belong to me anymore. I've sacrificed the action to the field. So any worry or concern I have about the result is completely a waste of energy. Because it isn't up to me anymore. I have lost control of the action once I offer the action into the field. So to try to worry about the result is completely, all it does is impact upon my ability to do the next action that I'm having, that I'm required to do. So my mind is agitated when I'm performing the next action, and when I'm performing the next action, and I'm active all the time, I don't do the next action in the right action in the right way at the right time. So I don't get the result I want if that's Ishwara's will, and then I get more and more and more frustrated. So it's this stress about getting what I want and about relating to what I do have, what I have gotten, because everything I do have right now is the result of my actions. What I have right now is what Ishwara has decided I need.
Yeah.
And if I don't like what I've got right now, then I'm a fool, because
I should be thankful.
I should be grateful that I got what I've got, because this is the will of the total for me. So
you should just take your part in the field.
Do your action and leave the result up to Ishwara.
Yeah.
And then your stress and anxiety goes away. And then your life gets easy and relaxed. And you do your actions happily. And whether or not you get your results, it doesn't matter. The interesting thing is, basically you will not do actions that are not good for you. You'll only do actions which produce results that you want.
Yeah.
Part of karma yoga is doing particular kind of actions and avoiding doing other kinds of actions. Rajasic and Temasek actions need to be avoided, and sattvic actions need to be performed.
So you do...
Like ancestor worship. One thing you should do is respect your parents and the pit where you come from. Well, why is that a good ritual or good action? Well, because it heals my psychological problems that I picked up from my parents.
Yeah.
Simple. Or in taking care of the environment. That's a karma yoga thing. That's just smart. Taking care of my environment, what makes my life better.
Yeah.
And so forth. Right? Worshipping God, studying the scripture. These are actions that are enjoined in karma yoga. And there are certain actions which are prohibited.
Mm-hmm.
Drugs, alcohol, lying, cheating,
Violence.
stealing, violence, so forth and so on. These are actions which will be detrimental to me.
Because they cause bad results.
They do.
Yeah.
And if I'd actually think about what I'm doing before I do it and offer it to the field, I won't be doing bad actions because I know they're going to produce bad results.
Fine, yeah. I think we pointed out the main
points.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Something to add.
There you go.
Yeah, so people should read your book if there are more questions.
I hope they do.
And look
for their sake, not for mine, because I don't get anything out of it.
So, and look on www.shiningworld.com.
Yes, sir.
And they will receive every information they need to reach. Not to reach, but to understand.
Understand who they are.
Yeah.
Good. That's good, catching that. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.